It's absolutely true. The best moment when they come with the baby after years even.
Yeah.
And then just to share pictures, and they will tell the baby that this is your baba, this is Dr. Zakwan, who is that. So this make me really proud and excited day after day to keep working in that and helping couples to achieve their dreams.
Toes and potential.
So we try to kind of
all these tests.
I retired. I mean, obviously, but thankfully,
All right, guys, it's happening again. We are back in the studio. I'm Maria Botros. This is Tell Me Why. And today's topic is one that we have addressed before on the show. And it resonates with a lot of our listeners. And we've gotten so many questions over the past year, when it comes to this specific topic and fertility as a whole. And today's topic is IVF. And with us in the studio is Dr. Zakwan Khrait, who is the Group Medical Director of IVF International Fertility Center. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for having us today with you.
It's lovely to have you, and we cannot wait for you to bestow your knowledge onto us, because it is a topic that a lot of people are passionate about or that are afraid of. I feel like you have the two extremes.
Yes, we have both sides, as you mentioned before. So, but nowadays, I feel that the percentage of people excited and ready to go, like it's really higher than before.
Yes.
So still some people far from the word IVF is still big for them, but people ready and well-informed, well-educated, they are more now.
Okay, so I'm glad you mentioned education. Tell us in simple terms, what is IVF?
IVF is something like what's happening in the nature, but when it's not happening. So it means that we will help people to conceive when they are not able to conceive themselves. Taking the oocyte or the egg outside of the woman, the sperm, fertilize them together in the lab, then putting them back as embryo or baby. This is the IVF in simple.
And how long is the process? I mean, does it vary from person to person?
Yeah, it varies from person to person and from protocol to another one. But usually it takes 2 to 3 weeks, the standard IVF, where we'll just do the fertilizing and then doing the transfer. But nowadays we are going to the side that we freeze the embryos, which is higher success rate. Right. So we might need 2 cycle of the menstrual for the lady.
Okay, and that's for the egg freezing, which we've seen, the laws change in the recent years and allowing more women to freeze their eggs.
This is the egg freezing for single ladies, or they are not ready to be moms now. But what I mentioned before, this is the embryos themselves, which fertilize egg. This is very important and very new protocol just to increase the chance of success. So for egg freezing, back to egg freezing, of course, this is now the trend. Or most of the women, they think about it, especially the ladies that they still want to build up their career and they're still not ready to conceive, having their fertility frozen. This is a very good chance, which was not before.
It's revolutionary, of course. Yes,
absolutely.
It has transformed, the fertility scene, as they say.
IVF, it's I know it's maybe complex for some patient, but it's most successful, and then it's cover all causes of infertility.
Okay, so I'm going to get real a little, because we did mention this before the show as well. People are still wary and skeptical of IVF, and people still are afraid to explore that option, even if they've been advised by, a medical professional. Why is that the case?
Maybe the cost is number one.
Absolutely, it's a very high cost.
Number one is the cost, the stress. They are like having or doing something they were not well educated about. Maybe the culture. Some cultures they against doing IVF, or they feel that IVF is something it's out of their dictionary. Maybe all these reasons, and then some patients that's the well-educated. We are talking about education, right? The well-educated and very educated ladies, they will be afraid from the side effect of medication, and they will build some theories about that doctor, it might do something, it might, I heard. This is it's common for any procedure, but the IVF still in the population brain, it's a big word. IVF is something to be at the last of the way, last of the tunnel. while it should be the first to be considered rather than suffering and waiting and going through so many investigations which is not needed.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, so taking a step back, can you tell me more who is qualified for IVF? Like, are there certain characteristics or cases that are qualified for IVF, or can anyone do it? I mean, you mentioned that now anyone can opt for it, and it's the smart way to go to basically safeguard for conception in the future. But I'm talking about like cases, like medical cases that need to do IVF. What do these cases involve?
Okay, so back to the IVF. As per WHO, it's a medical condition, but nowadays it's no more medical condition, let me tell you that. It's an option for any couple, usually who is considering that, or who should consider, of course, waiting time, long duration of infertility, trying many times with OBGYN, trying natural ovulation induction, even IUI, then reaching that. But there is some cases that they shouldn't wait. There is some alarm that they should consider IVF right away. That's the advanced age for ladies, that they get married late maybe, or even some medical condition like severe endometriosis and severe male factor or azoospermia. So this is medical condition, they shouldn't wait. Elsewhere, mild condition, maybe they have to wait at least 1 year if the lady is young. But if more than 35 years old, she should consider after trying 6 months. If it's not happened, they should have an appointment with the IVF or infertility consultant just to review and before they waste their time.
Of course. And going back to the whole, people being skeptical, just explain to us how IVF has changed over the years, maybe how different it is from 5 years ago, 10 years ago, or even more.
So now you want me to disclose that I'm old. I'm with a big experience in that. So it's been years I'm working in IVF. Absolutely every year I feel a new jump in the IVF in all details, starting from medication, from the lab technology, from the media we use, from new adventures that we are living in that. It's a big jump, honestly. It's a big jump between years ago and now. The success rate, the protocols, approaching the patient, how safe now, how quick the procedure. In all those parts, that is very important to mention. Yes, we are in the top now comparing with the years before.
Can you tell us a bit more, like in terms of statistics, the success rate?
Success rate, it's higher since we start doing freezing embryos, which was not allowed in UAE before.
Yes.
Since we start doing that preservation for people, so we are using now eggs like were retrieved 5 or 6 years before in the patient or ovary age. All those making difference between that once we deal with advanced maternal age and once we deal with eggs were retrieved younger than that. Plus that's why we have so many new protocol and personalized for the patients themselves with a new generation of medication. We are now very confident to say success rate not less than 70%, while we used to say 30% or 25 or 50. That was 10 years before maybe.
Yeah.
So now it's even the couple when they come and hear that, doctor, we heard from people before that it's only 20 or 30. It's now different, especially even with the genetic screening. We are checking the babies before we transfer them. So we choose the best embryo to be transferred. All that getting up for the success.
Yes, absolutely. 70%, that's really high.
It is. We are just talking that confident for patients in the, I'm talking about in common, in general. Some cases even higher than that. If we are talking about young age, mild factor, so even for people for family balancing who they are parents already before, they have a very top success rate.
Okay. And if a couple goes through IVF once, does that mean that this is the only way that they're going to be able to conceive, or can they miraculously conceive, naturally?
Very repeatable question. We hear it from the couple. Most likely, yes, they will have chance of natural conceiving, and let me say maybe 1 lady out of 5, they have the chance to conceive natural. But that depends on the case itself.
Okay.
Yeah. Some cases we cannot promise that, because some cases they have absolute factor that they cannot conceive. But others that like polycystic ovary, yes, they can. And I'm always telling them either failed or successful IVF journey, try natural for a few months before you come back to see me again.
Yes, absolutely. That's always fair. I mean, to go through all the options without, taking too long so that you don't miss a chance, as you mentioned, especially when a woman is older of age. So, Dr. Zakwan, honestly, we know that it's not an easy journey. This is something still a lot of women, is fairly new to a lot of women. So what kind of support do you offer your patients either during the journey or post IVF?
The main support should start from home, from her partner and family, friends. This is the most important support. Once reaching us, we have a team specialized in counseling the patient, talking to them. If she prefers female, we have female counselor. She will be, and the couple will be very free to reach us for the question, because even in the consultation, they will not ask all the questions. So we share with them our private numbers. We have hotline for that. So they are free to ask once they remember the question. This is during the journey that's being educated. We have nurses team that they will give the instruction each step. That's what has to be, the medication, how to prepare yourself. That's always, but I'm always insisting that she should be with her partner, with her husband, because he is the one who will even share or remind her for any point was missed. But then after that, once she's pregnant, not only us, we will be supporting her journey. The team of obstetrician that she will follow it with our instructions and with our eye, keep it on that journey till she end up by the delivery.
Okay, I'm going to poke the bear a little because we spoke about the cost, and I think that's one of the major setbacks for a lot of couples, especially ones that might not be able to afford it. I'm not talking about the skeptical, patients. I'm talking about the ones that might want to opt for it, but the cost is quite high. Do you feel like insurance should cover these?
I wish, because really this is what's stopping so many patients from covering the cost and having their dream coming true. And this is a medical condition. It's not always an option. Some patients, that's where they have it as option, especially for family balancing but remember, some patients, they cannot conceive because they have genetic problem. So they know if they ended by a baby will be 100% abnormal, or they will have this chance to inherit this disease. So this is where the insurance stand. This is where it should cover these cases. The cases they have absolute male factor, for example, or azoospermia, they have no chance to conceive natural. This is a medical condition. Absolutely, it should be covered. And this is what's happening in Europe and most of the countries there where we got educated there. It's free. It is covered by insurance. This is now we have part of that. We have some cases got covered by the insurance, some nationality, some here or there, but still some people suffer and they are not able even to step in the IVF clinics.
Absolutely. And we've seen that, and that's why I ask this question. But I feel like, the UAE is ever evolving, and I love that about the UAE is that they keep developing the laws and the regulations, and I see it happening in the future, and that's why I wanted to ask you, because I think it's very important. A lot of families or a lot of couples, want to start a family, and sometimes it's not an option. So hopefully we can see that happen in the future.
Till then, so many clinics now offering just support. I don't want the board offers or promotions, but we are one of them. We support couples, and when it's the money is the obstacle before they step and start their family.
Yes.
So inshallah, we're wishing always the best for everyone.
We'll see it definitely in the future. Dr. Zakwan, I know I took so much of your time, but I just want to ask you one last question. For the women out there who've been told you should go for IVF and still haven't taken that step, what's your advice for them to put them at ease?
To start, because IVF, it's not a surgery, it's a journey, and they will enjoy each step of this journey. Don't listen to who grab you down. Just start, because nothing like when you have your baby in between your arms or in your arms. This is the IVF. It's, as I mentioned before, it's a big word, but it's in very joyful moments and very beautiful details. And we are someone that we share with the couple. every moment. So when they, at the end, they say, it was really journey. So please start.